If you're not familiar with what a unit fraction is just a fraction that has a numerator of 1 and a denominator that's a positive integer. Some of you all who are elementary teachers, if you are not comfortable with math terminology such as positive integers, then I suggest that you all familiarize yourself with the math vocabulary, because if you teach 5th grade, they will be using a lot of secondary vocabulary, and as you know, math vocabulary can be very difficult. So let's move into unit fractions a little deeper. So I love the tape diagram, and although my drawing lacks luster, let's go ahead and erase that. That one's better. Drawing on a tablet can be a little difficult. So here's our table diagram, and our denominator is 6, so I'm going to draw 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have my tape diagram with 6 parts. Well, when you're teaching unit fractions, the students have to understand that the denominator over itself is a whole. And I know a lot of you all will probably say, well, my students understand that. Well, do they really understand it enough to apply it in other situations? Especially when they have multiple operations to use. For example, I teach 5th grade. We simplify fractions. We multiply fractions times a whole number. Can they still recognize this concept is the question. Well, using or introducing the unit fractions to students using the tape diagram eliminates this misconception here, because when I ask a lot of my 5th graders who are struggling learners, I ask them, well, if the denominator is 6, what is the whole? They should be able to say 6, 6, and a lot of them aren't able. So we label each section as 1/6 of the whole. It's 1/6 of the whole. And when we add these up, the children understand that, okay, 6, 6 is the same as having 6 unit fractions, or 6 1/6. And that is huge. You may not think that it's a big deal, but it is, especially when students start to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. It is a huge deal. So even with them understanding what is a half, you can look at this model and see that half of 6, 6 is 3, 6, or 3 1/6. So this unit fractions, and teaching these to or introducing it to your students this way will give the kids a better understanding of how to approach a fraction, because the kids making the transition from whole numbers to fractions, sometimes it muddies the waters, because the children are saying, okay, that's 1. Well, yes, it is 1, but it's a part to whole relationship, and we haven't even gotten into part of a set. And that's even more confusing, because the children don't really understand, well, what is the role of the denominator? Denominator tells us how many parts we have in all. So I want to give you a little example of how unit fractions, or when you teach unit fractions, how it can be applied with other concepts. Say, for instance, I have 3. Let me get my pen tool. 3 and 1/3. Now in 4th and 5th grade, we do a lot of converting improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers to improper fractions. If a student understands that 1/3 is the unit fraction, then they understand that there are 1/3 in this whole number 3. So let's break down or decompose the whole number 3. How many 3/3 are in the whole number 3? Well, there's 3. That's 1, 2, and here's 3. So the kids understand that, okay, if the numerator is 3 and the denominator is 3, then this is the same as 1 whole. So we have 3/3, which really is 3, 6, 9, 9/3 in the mixed number 3 and 1/3. So what they can also do is decompose these. If I have 3/3, that means that I have how many unit fractions? So I know that I have 3 1/3 in 1 whole. So how many 1/3 are there in the unit fraction, the whole number 3? So 3 times 3, it's 9, which it gives the kids a better understanding of how to make or convert this whole number into an improper fraction. So if they're converted to an improper fraction, they can say, oh, there's 3/3, 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 3/3 equals 9/3. And when I add that one unit fraction, it's 10/3. So I hope this gives you a better understanding of unit fractions and how important it is to really teach your students how to visualize unit fractions. No way am I saying that you cannot use fraction wheels or other means to teach your students fractions, but they have to understand that that fraction is made up of unit fractions. So if you would like more information on this, you can always catch me blogging about math and reading comprehension in the math classroom on my blog at www.fuelgreatminds.com/blog. Thanks. Have a great day.